Hi guys. I'm someone who has written, rewritten, deleted the draft, rewritten again when it comes to the book that I'm writing. And especially when it comes to magic systems in world building, I have hit a lot of roadblocks and I have kind of like had to refocus a lot of times and change aspects in my writing, which has been exhausting but very, very rewarding. So, based on everything that I have learned along the way, I want to create a short video talking about magic, specifically magic when it comes to character arcs. I have notes again, I always have notes. And how different types of magic should be incorporated for them to make the most intuitive sense for your reader. So that's what I'm going to discuss today, and I hope this video actually helps you. So let's get into it. That was the intro. So I still have a lot to learn, okay? I'm not an expert by any means, but if you're an absolute beginner and you know nothing about world building and you don't know anything about magic systems and you're like, I want to create something. It could be for your D&D group, you want to just create a world for that, or you just want to write something, or you want to write short stories and you want to incorporate a magic system into that. These tips could really help you right off the bat to start with. So in my previous video, I talked about hard versus soft magic, and I discussed the differences between them, and I mostly focus on hard rational magic and hard magic specifically because I said I prefer that. So today I want to focus a little bit more on soft magic because I don't think I gave it enough time in the last video. So with soft magic, I have noticed one of the major misconceptions is that since soft magic is generally, mystical in nature, and no one really understands why or how it's happening, like Gandalf in The Lord of the Rings, we don't really understand how his magic works. Writers can generally think that they don't need to understand the magic system themselves, which is not true. You should be able to understand your magic system. You should know how it works. You don't have to tell the reader how it works, but you should know how it works, because especially if you ever think of publishing your work, it is going to be exposed to a lot of critique from your readers, and at some point they're going to question you about this. You should know how it works and maybe leave some things up to the reader's imagination, but at the very least understand the mechanics of your own magic. The second most important thing that you have to focus on is that every magic requires some sort of input. Now, what is that input going to be for you? So let's look at Mistborn. The characters needed to ingest something like a metal or something for them to perform magic, right? Now, each character, depending on how much metal they ingested, what they ingested, that impacted the magic that they performed. So what is the input for your character going to be? What are they going to invest into the magic? What price are they going to pay for this magic? That is the second most important thing that you need to realize, and you need to get it down pat before you start writing. Or you could do something that Stephen King does. He kind of just puts his characters into situations that are like bizarre, and then he kind of just finds out a way to get them out of it as he's writing. You could also come up with a magic system on the fly like that, but I feel like that would lead to more contradictions down the line, especially if you change the plot up a bit. So you have to decide if you want to base your plot. So you have to decide if you want to base your plot around the magic system, or do you want a magic system that is based around the plot. Generally, you should have a plot, and then you should create like a magic system that helps you deal with that plot. Like in my last video I said, right, hard magic can really help you deal with plot limitations. It can really help you deal with plot inconsistencies. But if you want to focus more on the magic aspect of it, create a magic system first and then create problems within your plot where you can employ this magic system and where you can introduce this magic system to your readers in an interesting way. So you have to decide what is more important, the plot or the system. Decide that. Now, the third thing is that the output. Now we decided the input, right? We know what the input is going to be. Does your reader have to give their energy? Do they have to give their life force? Do they have to ingest something? Do they have to have certain spells? What is it that your character is giving to the magic? Now what are they getting out of it? Now it is important that you keep the output reasonable and less, because let's say hypothetically you give a large output, like um, maybe after performing a spell your character could take down large forces of the antagonist. Now that's a huge output. That's going to create plot problems in the future. What if for story reasons you cannot have your character do that again? Readers are going to ask why could he do it then, why can't he do it now? So keeping the output small and limited not only makes it harder for your character to take down the antagonist, which adds more tension to the story and makes it more interesting, but it also makes it easier for you to avoid any plot contradictions going forward in your story. So keep the outputs limited and keep the inputs reasonable. That is one of the most important things when you're making a magic system. Now it is very important that your input or the cost that that your character is paying for the magic be something solid. So in a lot of movies it's very common for the cost to be just like fatigue. Your character performs magic and then they get tired, so they need some time to recuperate and then get back in the game. That is kind of a cheap cost if you think about it. Like it's not a bad idea to add it. It is certainly very mainstream and used very often, but adding something else along with it might make your magic seem more tangible, especially if you're going for a hard magic system. I try to talk about soft magic, but I always end up talking about hard magic. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about is, now this is something that I learned from a Brandon Sanderson video where he was talking about the 1 month writers challenge, where he suggested that, so 1 month writers challenge is basically, then it's great if you want to start writing. It's something that you should give it a go. So basically it's a challenge to write a novel within 1 month, and it doesn't have to be a huge novel. It can just be 50,000 words. So you kind of just turn the editor in your head off and you just write the story. So he gave some tips on how to do that, and just some ideas for how to start writing. So where he said you can add a monologue, even if you're not writing a first POV story, right? Maybe you're writing a third POV story. You can still write a monologue from the protagonist's perspective in the beginning of the book. Kind of like, a summary, or just after everything's already happened, you can add it at the very beginning, or where your protagonist is talking about their experiences in the book. Maybe you can interview them, or maybe you can write a journal entry from their notebook or something of the sort. That can really help you come up with like an outline of sorts for your novel, and can leave a lot of unanswered or open-ended questions that will intrigue the reader into finding out about as they read the book. And then they can correlate this to, oh, I actually read this in like the monologue in the beginning. So that is something you can do. And now I'm going to get to the next part. So now, not only is it important for you to have a solid magic system and for your character and for yourself as the writer to understand how it works, but it's also important for you to discuss how is magic perceived in the world that you're writing. Is it taboo? Is it a part of their regular life? How is it perceived? So in Harry Potter, they show it beautifully, right? Like magic is like a part of their life. Everyone uses it for the smallest of things. It's just very normal for it to just exist. You could make it taboo in your world, like in Game of Thrones. It's considered, it's odd, it's weird, it's scary. So you can decide how you want magic to be perceived in your world. And if you make it taboo, which I think is like kind of cool, because it adds tension to the story. So not only would your protagonist have to deal with the limitations of his or her magic system, but on top of that, they will also have to deal with how they're perceived simply for performing magic in this said world. Now, I watched a video of Jenkins, and he said something which really stuck with me. He said that if you're writing, you need to add tension on each and every page of your book or whatever it is that you're writing, because people like agreeable conversations in real life, but when they are reading something for entertainment, they like conflict, they like tension. So even if it's a small disagreement, for example, your character could say something like, the weather is really good. And this is a direct example that Jenkins gave, it's not mine. That the weather is really good, and then another character could reply to it by saying, oh, of course, you would say that. It's a small disagreement. But some sort of disagreement, some sort of tension should exist in every single page. No one wants to read two characters agreeing with each other the entire time. That's not intriguing, that's not fun. So add conflict as much as possible. Now, if you're like, I don't know, like sometimes most of the motivation that we get for starting a book or writing something or creating anything is when we watch a show or a TV, or a movie, or we read something that is really intriguing and we kind of like want to create something like that in that subgenre. So what you can essentially do is, this is what Sanderson said, you can borrow the structure and then you can make it your own. So you break down whatever that you're watching to its fundamental structure and realize, why do you like it, what is the crux of it that makes you enjoy it, and then from there you build up new characters, new character arcs, and new obstacles. That's one of the ways that you can do this. So this was from Brandon Sanderson's video. Now, the best way to do this is by giving your character their own wants and needs. Okay, give them their own wants and needs, and then create obstacles for them to reach that. So that is what you make your book about. This is what your character... Now, never create a character who doesn't desire for anything, who doesn't want anything. Your character should always be yearning for something. They should always be yearning for something, and it is your job to create obstacles for them and then show progress. So I watched a video where he said, promise, progress towards promise, and the payoff. That is how the book should flow. And your magic system can really help you aid that progress and create plot problems which you can solve, then again employing the magic system. So want versus need is another aspect of it that you can add, where your character wants something but it's not really what they need. Now, how do they realize that? How do they come to that conclusion? That is something you can form the plot around. So yeah. So that was all for this video. This was mostly focused on if you want to write something or create a magic system of your own, what things to keep in mind, things that I messed up and I had to kind of redo everything because of. So this was mostly just based on that. In my next video, I really want to talk about sign magic or sigil magic. I have been doing a lot of research on it for what I'm writing. And I feel like there is a lot there, because sigil magic actually also exists in real time in our non-fantasy boring ass world. Yes, it does exist, and it's actually very interesting. It has a very rich history to it. So if that is something you guys are interested in, I would definitely make a video on it, because I have a lot of content on that. I've done a lot of research on that. So let me know if that is something that interests you. So this was it for this video, and I hope it was enjoyable. If you liked it, like it.